Telling you like it is. Oakland A's update. Tough week for the A's, but we could be a positive A's fan or a negative A's fan. We're gonna try to be a realistic fan because we're not homers here. I'm telling you like it is. We try to tell it like it is. We said to you last week we needed a 4-2 week. I was hoping to get a split from the Yanks, and that's what we got. But I was hoping to get two from the Mariners. We had that game the other night, but as we talked about last week, for the third time, and then yesterday for the fourth time, a 2-out walk with nobody on led us to have the game tied or lost on us. Except this time yesterday was because of two errors and not a home run. So against the Mariners on Tuesday night, that's what we got. That was horrible. It was a heartbreaking loss. And then again, when it's actually Thursday night with the Yankees, really, really tough loss. Yesterday, we're fortunate that the Red Sox gagged and got a strange call because if you look at that call, the Indians base runner reached out and deliberately outstretched his arms and made contact. I don't think that makes him safe anyway, but as an umpire, I can usually pretty good judge of that. But tell you what, we'll take it. And so we gain a game when it didn't look like we were going to gain a game. The Red Sox were up 5-3 in that game. So now we're 2.5 out of the wild card. But again, all this noise for the wild card, like we said before the season, is tough because it's a one game playing. And I said to you before, usually against a team that probably is a little better than us. And what I mean by that is, sure, we could beat the Yankees or the Red Sox, but with the Yankees, they're going to send Cole to the mound. Now, Cole didn't even have great stuff. We did a good job hitting him and still didn't get a run off of him. And in case you've noticed, the Yankee bullpen has really upgraded. Loizaga is off the chart right now. And if they have the guts to put him in there instead of Chapman, I don't think he's blowing any leads. He's throwing like Mariano was in '96, where Mariano would come in for 2 innings and then Wetland would come in and finish it. But Loizaga right now, Peralta's tough, Abreu's tough, Holmes is tough. Britton, Chapman, they just really have so much in that bullpen right now. It's Licky. It's just a scary bullpen for them. So, one game, anything can happen. But again, you're putting yourself most likely on the road in Yankee Stadium in that environment without your best pitcher, Bassett. I guess you would hope that we could run Montas out there, but it's going to be so close that we're not going to get to set up our pitching if we could get in there. That's if we could get in. And then you got to ask yourself, like I said earlier in the year, I thought this would be a toughest year to get a wild card because the White Sox ran out early. And you knew that would happen. And I still think the Astros are better than us. So right there, you're playing with the American League East champ. And right now, you're already competing for a wild card. And the Red Sox jumped out pretty early, too, them and the Rays. So then you knew it was either us or the Yankees. And you knew the Yankees would go spend at the deadline. Now, we did, too. Got to give us credit. But at the same time, they added to the bullpen. People talk about Gallo and Rizzo, but what they did to the bullpen, they got rid of some shoddy arms and they picked up some new arms. And so the Yankee bullpen is championship caliber bullpen. That doesn't mean they're going to win a championship, but that bullpen is rough. So this is going to be tough for us. But we got to fight the fight. Got to fight every day. And Bassett in the dugout probably helped the last couple of days, but again, the A's with men in scoring position. I don't know how Bush keeps his job. He must have naked pictures of somebody. And that's something that we got to talk about. Their bullpen is championship level. But, the A's bullpen started to leak. Petit got it back together again this week. Looks like we have no trust in Trevino, even though Judge hits a bloop single off him on Thursday night. That was rough. We came all the way back in that game, did a good job. But we got to focus on the positive. Chapman's hitting a little bit. We got to get Canna back to getting on base. This is where we miss Laureano. People talk about missing Bassett, obviously, and Rosenthal we never had, but you miss Laureano because Laureano's the fire plug on this team, whether you like him or not. And his numbers are 250, and that's not great. But he is the guy that plays really hard. And he is that guy. So whether you like him or not, Laureano is that guy. Sorry about that crackly noise. That's Pop Rosie here down in the kitchen area. She's crankling on her new toy, as you can hear it again. So, we got to get Laureano a spark plug back. We're not going to get him back until about 35 games into next season, 25 games into next season. But we do miss him. He's a great glove. He's a great arm. But, again, he's a fiery person. And sometimes I think that's what this team needs. I look in the dugout the other night. We're about to lose our sixth in a row, and Fires is in there put a big smile on his face. Well, I mean, that's the disconnect between the fans and the players today. I mean, you know, I can honestly say I've seen maybe two people run out of ground ball hard this year, and I watch more than just the A's every night. It's frightening to see. Last time I see a guy busted, and the old jog to first base. So it's kind of frightening. But again, Fires is laughing. The guy's been pitching maybe 2 or 3 games, been out the whole year. I mean, like we're about to lose our sixth in a row. I just say it's common sense, and if you don't understand basic philosophy of human life, then you're obviously lost as a person. But when you pay people this much money, how could they care about it? Why should they care about it? They're getting paid millions of dollars. Generational money they get. Generational money. So that's not going to hurt them. So to dive on the floor for a loose ball, whether it be basketball in the Olympics or whether it be baseball on a ground ball, I'm sorry. At that point, there's no urgency. All right. You're getting 55 million or whatever. But the thing is, like I said, this week we got the 3 in Detroit, who's not been a pushover. Detroit has been playing good baseball. And then we got 3 in Toronto, and this is Toronto's last stand because they've kind of sputtered a little bit. Everybody keeps talking about how great they are, but they just never clicked. And so this is their Waterloo moment for them. If they don't get this done with us, they need to take 3 from us, or else they're going to be done because you can't afford to take 3 off the calendar, 3 days off the calendar, and only game 1 game and take a 2 out of 3. That's not going to do anything for them. So, like I said, we wanted a 4-2 last week. We got a 2-4. Not a great homestand to go 3-6 on. But what we have to do now is I want a 4-2 week here. We need to get 2 out of 3 from both. It's hard to win on the road, but I'll take 4-2. We just got to get some help. The Red Sox are playing the Rays 4 times starting tonight. That's huge. That's a huge opportunity for us as Oakland A's fans. So we got to take advantage of this. So the Red Sox have played 1 more game than us. After tonight, they'll play 2 more games than us. And we have to see how this goes from there. Like I said, I don't believe we're catching the Astros, so I don't even focus on them and look at the wild card. We can maybe get the Yankees to lose a little bit, but I think that they're going to be playing the Angels tonight. I don't really have much high hopes because the Angels' bullpen is trash, just as the Angels are trash as they've been for many, many years. So we can always say that with a smile on our face, or the Devils, as I call them. But, just a bad week for the A's, but we got to get back into this. And the bullpen is, we got to close by committee. And yesterday, Chafin's up there. We don't even have anybody else up. I mean, Bob has slipped a couple of times. How do we not have somebody else up with him closing? He hasn't closed it forever. I don't mind Romo the day before. I know he gave up the home run better than a walk-in judge. But the thing is, we got to find a way to get a closer by committee. What I mean by a closer by committee is we got to have somebody else up. So we got Chafin as our lefty. Let's have a righty up. Now, I know we got 3 batters no matter what, but let's have another righty. Let's have Trevino ready. Or even another lefty, a Puck, Trevino. Let's have somebody up. All right, let's have Romo up. We gotta have people up. So right now we're rudderless that way. And Trevino was never really the closer. And like I said, we've dealt with so much this season. Between the whole player food thing was embarrassing as an A's fan. The stadium issue is hard. Even the attendance has just suffered. You could tell after that series that the fans are pissed. And I don't blame the fans. I live here in New York, but you can see the fans are pissed when they don't show up for the Yankees and great numbers. Something's up. So that's always a big problem for us. So obviously the fans have treated this ownership the way the ownership's treated them. So I don't blame the fans for that. I wish they would just fix up the stadium. I don't want to move, but it's not going to be up to me or you or anybody else. But I'd like to see people try to figure out what exactly they could improve at that stadium and then fix it and save on the money, but also save people's jobs that are there. It'd be great. But before we mentioned little fan perspective on these modern day players here in New York, the Mets, Javi Baez, who's I think the leader in the majors in strikeouts, if I'm not wrong, maybe second. Of course, Chapman's up there too. Yesterday, him and Lindor, who's been hurt for a while and just came back, the $345 million man, come back and they're dancing around when they get a big hit. They do this thing, thumbs down, which is Javi Baez obviously never took a public relations course. Comes out and says, "Oh yeah, this is our way of getting back at the fans who boo us." Well, let me tell you, another privileged athlete. It's hysterical watching all these athletes come out on these socials just about talk about supremacy and privilege and oppression. Well, who the hell in this country is more babied than a great athlete? The answer: no one. Maybe a congressman's kid or a president's kid. As a coach at a high level for a long time, High school athletes even get babied. They even get special treatment. So these guys must have been total studs in high school. So if they go to college and play, they're babied there too. They never have to deal with the real world as far as like, what it's like to be a regular student. Never do that. And they could tell me, yeah, I came from a dirt road or whatever, but now you're not. Now you're hundreds of millions into it. Generational money. That's 10 and 11 generations worth of money that Lindor just signed for. The guy's a 279 lifetime hitter. Rosario hitting 282 right now, by the way. So why are you paying a guy whose best years are behind him, clearly 340 million? I have no idea. But again, typical New York situation. Let's just buy a new toy, even though the toy is, there's nothing he can do to make that 340 million worth it. But then when you start getting back at the fans and say when they boo us, it puts more pressure on us. Hey, guy, you were 8 games over. Now you're 8 games under by us since you've been here. So I'll tell you what, in the real world, you go be that non-productive in your job and see what happens to you in your job. A lot of people are out of work right now. B, if they don't produce, they get fired from their job. And C, if they do get fired, they don't have generational money to sit back on their ass and do nothing. So Lindor gets fired today. Baez gets fired today, which wouldn't happen. What do they got? They still got millions of dollars. They can do other things. Regular people don't do that. So regular people don't understand how they played for free all these years. For you to sit there and worry about getting booed, I'll tell you what right now, I've been booed as a coach. You can come pay me $300 million. You could say whatever you want to me. Matter of fact, I'll let you punch me once a day, any way you want, and you could pay me $300 million for 10 years. So you're getting booed. Well, this is New York, guy. It's a privilege to play in New York. You want to go play in Oakland where the toilets explode? Trust me, I'm an A's fan. I understand. Where no fans show up? So if you want to come here and take the money and take all the ballyhoo and all the wine and all the parties and everything else, then you get to deal with the consequences. You want the good of New York, which is the big bucks? Well, then you get the pressure in New York. When Derek Jeter got booed, he used to say, yeah, they were right to boo me. I stunk. And Derek Jeter did get booed. Dr. J got booed. Santa Claus got booed in Philadelphia, so Dr. J. But you didn't hear them crying about it. But here we are again, the modern day soft dog shit modern player can't write the booze Baez. Like, dude, shut up. So now you're free. I tell you, I would cut Baez right now because the Mets aren't going to make it. I think they're about 7.5 out. That's not going to happen. So just get rid of him. Make a statement that you don't want him. And I know somebody else will pick him up. Who cares? But I don't want my franchise doing that. If I'm a Met fan, I don't want to see this guy ever again. We could put him in the Matt Harvey category. Instead of the Dark Knight, he's called Matt Harvey Lost at Night. Knew he was all hype and bullshit, just like he is, and Noah's headed that way too. But the thing is, come in, do your job, and if you get booed, well, play better. It's the fans' right to boo. So if you're going to attack the fans, that never ends well. And for you guys who don't live in New York, you have no idea what that means in this town. The radio station today, I couldn't wait this morning at 6 o'clock. Just lighten these two fools up. Do yourselves a favor, Lindor, who's very overpaid and 279 hit a lifetime. Look it up. Just do yourself a favor and shut the hell up. Okay? It's just incredible. And my Met fan buddies here, I'm texting, talking about how they don't even want to see it. Two of my best buddies, diehard Met fans. Diehard Met fans. Go all the time. Meet up, go all the time, even though it's not convenient. Both got their own kids, both very successful people. Still meet up and go to Met games. They didn't want to see Baez and Lindor. And Lindor, you're never going to be able to get rid of that contract. So good luck with that. All right. So that contract doesn't even start yet. It starts next year. So that's really a bad situation. But Baez, I would cut him today and make a statement. If I'm the general manager or the owner, I get rid of him. I say, if you don't want to be here, don't be here. You don't want to come to New York? Don't come to New York. And people go, oh, then you see these foolish people on these fan groups, these Met fan groups. Oh, this is why people don't want to come here. Yeah, you show them the money, they show up. But if you're going to come here and you're going to get 300 million, then you shut up. If you don't play well, you're going to get crushed. Well, if you want the money and you want all the celebrity of New York, well, then you get the pressure in New York. Pressure is a privilege. Boomer Esiason, who works here in New York, talks about that all the time. It's from New York. Pressure is a privilege. I've heard Derek Jeter say it before as well. It is a privilege. You're a major league athlete. And people go, oh, you can't play at that level. So what? They can't do my job either. Come on in and teach social studies with the kids I have. They're great kids, but they're tough. So you know what? Come on in. You can't do what I do either. But if I don't do my job, I actually get fired, okay? And the thing is, I don't get generational money. So don't tell me, well, you could. Yeah, I played Division I baseball, so what? Not the point. So when the foolish fan argues, well, you couldn't do their job, yeah, can't do mine either. And they ain't going to get paid that same money doing mine either. So, how many of these guys would have any job if they did anything besides play ball? Yeah, let's see what their degrees are. So, the regular person deals with everyday pressure every day, and they might not have people booing them, but they have a boss down their ass, and the fans are your boss and the GM. And so, I give Alderson credit, former Marine. He's not going to take lightly to that, and a former Oakland A's general manager. So, I appreciate that. But he should blast these guys. I mean, who the hell are these guys? I can't tell you how sickening it is to see a guy making 340 million jumping around with his, shitty ass batting average, jumping around with thumbs down like you're a fucking child. You suck, bro. Getting 279 lifetime hitter. You're lucky you got the goddamn contract. Told you shouldn't have signed him to that damn contract. Nobody's worth that kind of money. Mike Trout ain't even worth that money. How's that Mike Trout deal working out for the Angels? How'd the Pujols deal work out for the Angels? All right, Harper's having a good year. How does Harper deals work out? The Nationals won the year after they got rid of him. No one player is ever worth that. None. And this is why the A's always struggle. We don't even get the guy who gets the intermediate contract. But baseball's a non-cap sport. So this guy Baez, I don't think he helped his cause here. Yeah, you could dance around the field and have all his flair, but if you're striking out that many times and a team went from 8 over to 8 under with you, sorry, fans are pissed. You're in a crap division, and now you've been overtaken. Looks like you got run over on the side of the road. My Met fan buddies are pissed. They say it looks like the same old jalopy. Good term here in New York we use a lot. And it's the same old car wreck for the Mets. Really is. So a disgusting thing for the Met players to act like that. But hey, whatever. I'm sure their sensitivities were hurt today or some woke crap like that. But that's what it'll be. But we need a 4-2 week, and hopefully we can get it done. And hopefully the Red Sox will struggle with the Rays along the way. Take care.